Here we go. Welcome to my review of Flowers of Evil, the final episode. So we had the cliffhanger at the end of episode 12, which was, as you know, where he's about to go into Nakamura's room. Starts off episode 13. Goes into Nakamura's room and he's just looking around, and it looks pretty normal. It looks pretty normal. You know, just clothes lying around, you know, and all this. And he's looking around the room, and he notices, like, there's an open drawer. Kasuga notices an open drawer, and he can see, like a notepad. And he looks at the notepad, and it says on the front of it, what does it say? I've forgotten. It said something on the front of it, like weakness or... No, sicko. That's what it said. Sorry, I don't know why I said weakness. It said sicko on the front of it. I mean, obviously that intrigues Kasuga. He's like, what the hell's that? So he's opening, looking through this sort of notepad, and Nakamura's written all this stuff in it, saying things like, oh, everyone's shit faces, everyone's scum, I can't deal with this town, all this. And she's writing about how it's almost like a diary, in a way, of her thoughts, because you have Nakamura, and she's saying, oh yeah, I met this other sicko today called, you know, Kasuga, and, you know, what am I going to do with him and all this. And she says, oh, I'm going to make a contract with him. And she's talking about, basically it's Nakamura's account of everything that's happened throughout the series. And Kasuga flicks to the last page, and it says, I failed to get to the other, and it says, like, on the last page of the notebook, it says, I failed to get to the other side. I failed. And then it looks up and you see Kasuga, and he's crying. He's actually got tears running down his face. You can't believe it from what he's seen. And then you hear, like, Nakamura comes in the room, and she looks at him, and they look at each other for like a couple of seconds, and then she just like smiles, and then she does that out the door. She like points out of the door. And she like grabs, and then she's like shouting, going, oh, what are you doing? Why are you reading this? She grabs the notebook and runs away. And Kasuga runs after her. And they get like outside, and they run in, and he's chasing her, and they get to like some part of the street, and he catches her and knocks her to the ground. And he's trying to say to her, look, I can, Kasuga is trying to like say to Nakamura, who's like upset and all this, pissed off. Kasuga's trying to say to her, look, I can help you get to the other side. We will go to the other side together. We will go to the other side. And she's like, no, this is all bullshit. No, we're not going to the other side. It's all lies and all this shit, right? And then, what is it? Kasuga is like, she's like got Kasuga down on the floor. I don't know if I'm doing that. She's got him like down on the floor, and she's like on top of him. She's like trying to strangle him with his tie. It's like, you know, and he says to her, look, I'm going to make a contract with you. So Kasuga says to Nakamura, I'm going to make a contract with you. We will go to the other side. You will go to the other side with me. And then it's really weird after that, because then you get like a sort of brief flashes of things that have already happened in the series. And also, you hear that you don't see things, but you hear things that have yet to happen, that have happened in the manga, but you didn't see in the anime. Like, well, I don't really understand, because I haven't really read the manga, so I don't know what happened. But you hear things that haven't happened yet, and then the episode ends, and it says end of part 1. So that leads me to this. By the way, it was not a great episode. It started off like it was going to be epic, and then it just went weird and shit at the end. But at the end of it was very interesting because, like I said, it said end of part 1. And that leads me to the question, well, is there going to be a second season of Flowers of Evil? Now, from what I've heard since last night, is that they're only going to do a second season if DVD and Blu-ray sales are good enough. And from what I've heard, the DVD and Blu-ray sales at the moment are pretty poor. So I don't know. It may happen, it might not. I'd like it to happen because I feel that where Flowers of Evil ended in episode 13, it ended at a point where the story is just about to get going. So I think it would make sense if they did a season 2. And why would they say, and that's the other thing, why would they say part 1 end, or end of part 1, if they're not going to do a second season? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So Flowers of Evil, final episode. It was okay. Kind of a bit shit. First half, alright, I'll say first half of the episode, epic. Second half, pretty poor. Right? With a possible second season. We'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, Flowers of Evil. Disappointing end to the series is all I can say.